I think we are ready to get started. I think we're ready to have an English lesson. I hope you're all ready to have an English lesson, and I hope it is enjoyable for you. I have started the live lesson as of this moment. So as soon as I know everything is working properly, the English lesson will begin. Hello to everybody in the chat. Good to see Cy Sandy, Uliana, Freddie Wolf, Aerosmith, Key Park, Uliana, Arthur, Gabby, Keita, Vitor. As I scroll back, Wanda Prado is here as well. Aerosmith 77, English with teacher Fernanda is here from Spain. Cecilia, I'm saying names twice, which I normally do. So if I said hi twice, you just get an extra hi this morning from me. But hello to everybody who is here. It is good to see all of you. I'm excited to do this lesson, and we'll get started in just a moment. Hi to Ralph, SG, Nadeau, Pedro, Bo Chat Silva, Sophia, and everyone else. By the way, if you're watching this at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, August 14th, it is live. Like, I'm live right now. I'm sitting in my living room, having a live. I can show you on my Fitbit if it will open. That is the time. Didn't really focus, did it? Anyways, let's get this lesson started. Here we go. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about types of messages. It's interesting because this past week, someone sent me a compliment. And when I read the compliment, I thought, oh, there are many different types of messages. And I thought there were maybe 5. But very quickly, I was able to find over 20 of them. I did some brainstorming with Jen. I did some searching on the internet. And I was able to think of 27 different types of messages: an apology, a thank you, an inquiry, a reminder, an offer, a warning, an explanation. I'm just looking at my other screen, reading some of them: a rejection, an alert, a proposal. So in this English lesson, I will go through those 27 different types of messages. Again, all of these words and phrases are very common in the English language. So today you'll be learning some everyday English words we use to talk about different types of messages. So once again, welcome. Hey, hello to everybody in the chat still. A few things before we actually get started. Number 1, if you have a question, there is a link in the description below you can use to ask that question. And usually Nightbot will post it in the chat, wherever that is on your screen. And I think it's also pinned in the chat right now. So if you would like to ask a question, I will answer that question. Let me just check something though. Why does it say that my live stream isn't working? Let me double check something here. Oh, it is working. I had to refresh my screen. Hopefully it's working for all of you. I don't see anyone in the chat saying it's not working, but Freddie, Bob, haven't you learned them by heart? Pretty much, yeah. Hey, what was I saying? If you have a question, please use the forum. If you want to learn more English, I have a lot of other videos on my channel, Learn English with Bob the Canadian. I've been doing this for over 9.5 years on YouTube. Go there, search through, you'll find an English lesson to help you with what you need. I think I should get officially started. Unabi says it lies. Everything works fine. Yes, works well. Everything is fine from Ralph. Very good. Hi to Running Tiger. Hi to Unsel. Hi to Unabi and Alexander joining us. Good to see you as well. Welcome to this live English lesson. So here we go. Are you ready? The first type of message, an apology, is a message in which a person says sorry for something they did or said. So if I do something to offend someone, or if I do something wrong, or if I do something where someone else is insulted or even hurt, I owe them an apology. An apology is very much just when you say, I'm sorry. So if Jen said, when you're at the store, it's really important that you buy bread. And then when I come home from the store, I say to Jen, I'm sorry, I forgot to buy bread. So I give Jen an apology. I let her know that I feel bad that I didn't do the thing that I was supposed to do. So once again, an apology is almost always just, I'm sorry. I am sorry. And it's an expression saying that you feel bad that you did something or said something. So a message in which a person says sorry for something they did or said. A thank you. A message that shows gratefulness to someone for something they did. Yesterday, my mom needed to get groceries, and my mom no longer has a car. My mom's quite old, actually. So she decided that she didn't want to drive a car anymore because she felt like she was too old. So now all of us take turns taking her to town to get groceries. After I took her to get groceries, I had a cup of tea. I went home, and later that day, she sent me a nice email. She sent me a thank you. And in her message, she said, "Thanks, Bob, for taking me to the grocery store today. I really appreciate it." So again, a thank you is any kind of message that shows gratefulness, that you are happy that someone did something. And you're happy, you're showing gratefulness to someone for something they did or something they said. So my mom said thank you, and it made me feel good. Whenever someone says thank you, it feels good. And in this case, when you send a thank you, you use the words thank you. Thank you for this lesson, Bob. Thank you for taking me to the grocery store. Thank you for the amazing Christmas present. That's how you express or send a message where you are thankful. So a message that shows gratefulness to someone for something they did. A request. This is a little more formal. A request is a message in which a person politely asks someone to do something or for something. So I have this little form here that I found, and this is a time off request form. So it has the word request right in it. This is very similar to the form I need to fill out at work if I want a day off. So you'll see here, employee name, position, leave type, personal leave, medical leave, maternity or paternity leave. I'm not taking that kind. I'm not going to request that kind of leave. Sick leave, family leave, others, vacation, or time off to vote. So there are many different kinds of requests. This is the most common kind of request that I see in my place of work. So a request is a message in which a person politely asks someone to do something or for something. A resignation. This is also a very formal type of message. A resignation is a message that formally tells an employer that a person is leaving their job. So if I found a new job, or if I didn't like my job anymore, in order to quit my job, it's considered polite to send in a resignation, to actually write a letter saying, "Dear boss, after a lot of thought, I've decided that I will no longer be working at this place. I just want to give you my 2 weeks notice." In Ontario, Canada, it's polite to give 2 weeks notice if you leave a job, but it is important that you write a letter of resignation. It's very official and it's very legal. So a resignation, a message that formally tells an employer that a person is leaving their job. A response. So a response is a message that a person sends or gives as an answer to another message. So the most common type of response is when you are invited to a wedding and they want you to let them know if you are planning to attend the wedding. So usually there is a card because they want a response. They have sent you an invitation, which is later in the lesson. I'll talk about invitations. They would like a response so that they know how many meals the chef needs to prepare, how many tables they need at the wedding. So you see here, it even says, "Please respond by the 5th of May, accept with pleasure, decline with regrets," or, indicate the number of people attending, and then whether you want filet mignon, salmon, or vegetarian dish. So a response, a message that a person sends or gives as an answer to another message. And this can be simple as well. When my boss emails me and asks me a question, they are wanting a response. You could also say a reply, but they would like a response so they know the answer to the question they asked me. A complaint, a message that expresses dissatisfaction with a product, service, or situation. So I wrote a little fake email here as a complaint. This is from Jim to Bob the Canadian. Bob, hi Bob, I hope you're doing well. I'm writing to let you know that I'm having trouble hearing the audio in your English lessons. The volume is too low. Even when my computer volume is all the way up, it's difficult to understand you sometimes, especially in the listening exercises. Could you please make the audio louder in your next lessons? Thank you for your time and for making such great lessons. Best regards, Jim. So again, this is fake. Jim didn't actually send this to me, but you can see this is a complaint. Jim has identified that the audio is not loud enough, and Jim has now written a complaint to let me know that they are not happy with the audio level. A reprimand. So this is a very serious type of message. Oh, that's a little too big. A reprimand is a formal message that tells someone they have done something wrong and need to improve. So if you are doing something wrong at work, your boss might send you a reprimand. If you're late for work 5 days in a row, you might get an email saying, stop being late for work. And that is a reprimand. So it's a corrective message. It identifies something you're doing wrong, and it might tell you what to do instead. So here again, another fake letter. This is from Jim. To Jim from Joe. Jim, this is a formal reprimand for taking 45 minutes for lunch when the company policy allows a maximum of 30 minutes. Please make sure to keep your lunch breaks within the 30-minute limit going forward. So this is an official reprimand. The boss or manager, Joe, is sending Jim a message saying, you're doing this and you're not supposed to. You need to fix it. So Jim apparently has been taking an extra 15 minutes for lunch every day and has now received a reprimand from his boss. A demand. So a demand is a formal request for something. So a strong message saying that something must be done or provided. If the government says I owe $1,000 in income tax and I don't pay it, eventually they will send me a demand for the money. Like they'll send me a very strongly worded letter. And here we have a letter from, I had AI make this. This is from Bob's Bowls, quality bowls for every table, a bowl supplier. And what's happened here is Jim got some bowls and didn't pay for them. So Bob is now sending a demand letter demanding the money. Dear Jim, this letter is a formal demand for payment of $800 owed to Bob's Bowls for bowls supplied on April 10, 2025. Please pay the full amount of $800 within 7 days of receiving this letter. So you can see, I'll make it a bit bigger, it'll go off the screen, but you can see the seriousness here. This is a very formal type of letter that you would get. If you owed someone money, they might send you a demand for that money. Okay, there's a fly here. Go away, fly. Let's look at some questions. Let me do an audio check here because there was something weird. Yeah, Jim and Joe are often, Jim is often featured. There will be more letters for Jim later in this lesson, but I see John Wedge saying the team, Jim and Joe. And then Freddie says, Jim needs to buy new ears. Yes. Cy Sandy says, the quality of Bob's Bowls looks great. Yes. There is no Bob's Bowls yet, but Freddie says, for a wedding, I'm always ready to attend. Well, weddings are fun for sure. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Ooh, from Vitor. Could you please talk a bit about an affidavit? Thank you, Bob. So an affidavit is like a very formal legal document that is recognized by, like, if you're trying to get a driver's license and you don't have a birth certificate, you might get an affidavit from someone, which is like a formal legal letter that says you're that you live in that town. Like, let me get an actual definition for us. Definition of affidavit. A written statement in which a person declares that certain information is true and then signed under oath, usually in front of a witness and used for legal purposes. So yeah, it's like I have a driver's license and a passport and a health card. I have documents that prove who I am. But if I lost all of those and needed to replace them, I might need to get my boss to sign an official affidavit saying who I am, and a few other people as well to prove my identity. So great question for sure. From Judith, hi Bob, what if you want to convey a message with the stress of your tone of voice? Can it make it lighter or harder? Thanks. Yes, definitely. If I say, and it depends what words you add as well. If a student is running down the hallway and I say, hey, stop for a minute, that's very polite. But if I say stop, you can hear the command in my voice, right? I went a bit lower. I used one word. I spoke a bit louder. Stop. It just sounds more serious. So I should do a lesson someday on tone, because it's interesting how you say something. The tone can change what it means. I watched a video the other day. Yeah, I'll have to think that one through. From Takagero. Hello, dear teacher Bob. I can see a bow in the distance near the lamp. Are you into this again? Yes, I bought lighter limbs. So if you look behind me, my bow is right there. So it's a little easier to draw. I had 28-pound limbs. Now I have 15-pound limbs, or 14. I can't remember. They're half the weight. And then have you seen the eclipse this week? We did not. It was cloudy. And if we had been able to see it here, I think only 7% of the sun was, it was going to be just a small sliver here. So we were not able to see it. Unso. Hi, Mr. Bob. Love this topic. Thanks for putting this lesson together. You're welcome. Which of these message types relies the most on tone rather than vocabulary? You're awesome. So as I go through, it's not so much tone. It's more how it is delivered. So I will mention if some of these are formal, like a request is a very formal thing. A resignation is a very formal thing. And most of these message types are written. Okay. So a thank you can be written or spoken, but a resignation is often written. A response is often a written response. So yeah, not so much tone as the fact that some of them are very, very formal. From Judith again. Hi, Bob. What if you send a message but recognize that its meaning must have been different due to the tone of voice was used? Thanks. So interesting. I'm glad you mentioned this because tone does happen in writing as well. And often people will misread something. They'll read it in the wrong tone. So tone can be like how I say the words, but tone can also refer to how you, like I might write Jen a message and I might say like, hey, I had fun with you yesterday. And then she might read it thinking I'm saying, man, I had fun with you yesterday. Like I'm saying it in a sarcastic way. So it's interesting with written messages. Sometimes people read it thinking the person is annoyed when they are not. Okay. From Arthur, hi, Mr. Bob. Did you see the recent wonder of nature? A planetary alignment, meteor shower, and solar eclipse all on the same day. Thank you. I didn't see any of them. It was cloudy. I'm not sure when the meteor shower was, but I was actually unaware of that one. I wish I had seen it. In the chat, let me know if you saw any of those things. Just say, I saw well, you can't see the planetary alignment, but just say, I saw the meteor shower or I experienced the eclipse. English with teacher Fernanda says, in Spain, it was a total eclipse. I've never seen this phenomenon so far. It is amazing. A total eclipse. Brent's here. Hi, Brent. Good to see you. Sorry that we beat the Boston Red Sox 3 out of 4 games, but you guys certainly played a good one yesterday. From Freddie Wolf, we have had up to 99% of the solar eclipse. That was outstanding. It's wild, eh? When you are in the middle of a full eclipse. Alexander, dear Bob, have you ever tried to make a bread at home, or is it better to say, have you ever made a homemade bread? The most correct way to say it would be this. Have you ever made bread at home, or have you ever made homemade bread? Those would be the two that I would say. Have you ever made bread at home, or have you ever made bread? You could even shorten it. That would be the most common, I think. Hey, have you ever made your own bread? When you add the word own, it kind of highlights that you're not buying the loaf of bread. Have you ever made your own bread, or have you ever made homemade bread? I think I ended up giving 3 versions there, but there you go. SG Nadeau says we had a total solar eclipse here in Canada in April 2024. Yes, that was fun. And I live streamed it. It didn't work out as well as I thought it would be. Arthur says, unfortunately, I couldn't see any of it because it was pouring rain. Oh, that's unfortunate for sure. Pedro says, I was never able to see it, unfortunately. Yes, it's sad when you miss something that only happens every so many years. From Michaela, hello, Bob. Have you ever written a letter to a friend by hand with pen and paper? Was it someone you already knew or a pen pal? I have not written a letter by hand, I think, since way back when I was dating Jen, way back in the 90s. No, it's been a very long time since I have handwritten a letter. I have handwritten thank you cards, though. We talked about a thank you. I have sent a thank you card to people and have handwritten a short note in it. Running Tiger says, I saw the meteor shower and uploaded to my brand new channel. Very cool. Burgett says, I wanted to see the solar eclipse, but the special glasses were sold out. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yes. Okay. From Unsel, we'll get back to the lesson in just a minute. When you read our messages, is it ever hard to guess what we actually meant if we didn't phrase it quite right? Thanks, you're awesome. Every once in a while, what I would say my success rate at understanding what you guys ask is pretty high. There are times, though, especially during the Saturday live streams, where I kind of flub the answer a bit. When you flub something, it means you kind of mess up a little bit. But most of the time, I can figure it out. Yes, most of the time. Or sometimes I just pretend I know what you're asking and answer the question I think you're asking. And sometimes I'm wrong. From Alexander, dear Bob, at what age do you plan to become a pensioner? What age is a minimum in Canada? Is a minimum pension enough for living? So you can retire at age 65 and you will receive a pension from the government. You can also retire at between age 60 and 65 and get a pension from work if you have that ability. Like I have a work pension. I can actually retire a couple years early if I want, but I'll get less money. What is my plan? My plan is I have a number of different options. Because I can work part-time, my job is less stressful than full-time. Because I do YouTube, I can decide to do this as long as I would like. And because we are farmers. So my current plan, if you guys want, here's the actual plan. I like doing YouTube. I like flower farming with Jen, although I haven't been as helpful as I normally am. I've been doing a lot of other stuff this summer, in like bringing kids to work and running around a lot. And I do like teaching part-time. I will probably do all 3 for another 5 or 10 years for sure. Like it's just a nice mix right now, a nice balance. Okay, I said I would get back to the lesson. I should do that. I should have a sip of water. An invitation. This is one of the most common types of messages. An invitation is simply a message asking someone to come to an event or take part in an activity. You might get an invitation to a retirement party. Those are pretty common. You might get an invitation to a wedding. Somebody might be getting married. You might get an invitation to an anniversary party. Maybe someone has been married for 40 or 50 years and they're having a big party. You might get an invitation to a birthday party. It's simply someone saying, hey, we're having this type of event. You are invited. And it can be something simple as well. If you have a friend in a band and they're playing at a certain venue, they might send you an invitation and say, hey, come and listen to my brand new band. But anyways, save the date. Cindy and Marvel getting married. When are they getting married? September, on a Sunday. September, I think this already happened probably. Yes, it looks like they might have gotten married a while ago. Was that, what is the date there? Oh, it doesn't actually have a year, does it? Okay, anyways, there is an invitation, a message asking someone to come to an event or take part in an activity. An inquiry. And I think if you're an American, you say an inquiry. I don't know how to say it. I say it, I'm pretty sure the British way, an inquiry, a message asking for information about something. So here we have another letter. I wrote this letter. This letter is from Jim to Bob's Bowls, and it says inquiry about possible job opportunities. Now remember, Jim owes Bob $800. But anyway, dear Bob's Bowls, I am writing to inquire about any possible job opportunities at Bob's Bowls. I am very interested in working for your company and would appreciate any information you can share. So this is Jim, and he has sent an inquiry to Bob's Bowls asking if it's possible that he could apply for a job. He's not applying for a job yet. He's simply inquiring if there are positions available. So an inquiry, a message asking for information about something. A reminder, a message that helps someone remember something they need to do or know. So I've put together this photo here. You can see this is Jen sending me a reminder. This is fake, by the way. But this does happen. I don't think Jen has little hearts by her name I just photoshopped a picture. Hi, Bob. Don't forget to get milk and carrots from the grocery store after work. Thanks. So sometimes we need certain groceries, and sometimes I say, I'll get them after work. And then sometimes I forget. So often Jen will send me a reminder. She will send me a message to help me remember, and it's very nice. Sometimes I will send Jen a reminder like, hey, don't forget you have to pick our daughter up from work today. It's nice to send someone a reminder so that they don't forget to do something. So again, a reminder, a message that helps someone remember something they need to do or know. A confirmation. If you have ever traveled in the world, you are familiar with a confirmation. It is a message that verifies that something has been arranged, received, or agreed to, or purchased, or whatever you want to say. So here we have a confirmation email. So this is a confirmation that this flight is going to happen, even though this is an old confirmation. But you can even see the title says booking confirmation. So a confirmation, a message that verifies that something has been arranged, received, or agreed to. Like basically you're confirming like, hey, we got your money. We're sending you the package. That is a confirmation. A follow-up, a message sent after an earlier message to continue the communication. So here is the follow-up email that I've drafted. This is from Bob the Canadian to Amazing Studios. And this is a two-part joke. So this is the first part. Hello, Amazing Studios team. I'm hoping you're doing well. I wanted to follow up regarding my screenplay submission, which I sent on April 28th. I was wondering if you had a chance to review it yet, and if there are any updates you can share about its status. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. So basically, I've sent a screenplay to Amazing Studios, and I haven't heard from them for a while. So I send a follow-up email. I send an email saying, hey, I sent my screenplay. Apparently, I wrote the screenplay for a movie, and I'm hoping that they will make this movie. So I'm sending a follow-up email. I'm asking what the status is of that email that I first sent. So a message sent after an earlier message to continue the communication. And then here's part two, a rejection. So here we have a letter from Amazing Studios. A rejection is a message telling someone that their request or application has been denied. So Bob the Canadian, dear Bob the Canadian, thank you for submitting your screenplay, Bob the Canadian's Adventures in Space. We regret to inform you that we have decided not to move forward with your project. That's very common wording for a rejection. We regret to inform you that you didn't get the job. We regret to inform you that your application has been denied. And then the second part says, we are excited to share that we will be moving forward with a different project, Bib the Canadian in Space instead. Sincerely, Amazing Studio. So a rejection, a letter telling you that something's not going to happen, or a message telling someone that their request or application has been denied. This, in my opinion, I think is the worst type of message to get, a rejection. Not very, very nice at all. An announcement, a message that gives important or interesting information to a group of people. So the most common announcement I can think of is a birth announcement. If you and your spouse have a baby, you will often send out a birth announcement announcing that the baby has been born. So an announcement, a message that gives important or interesting information to a group of people. Jasper apparently was born. Jasper Tom Gregory Miller was born 6 years ago. That kid's pretty old now. 5 pounds, 9 ounces. That's somewhat small, I think. An explanation, a message that gives reasons or details to help someone understand something. So often there will be construction work in your city and they might send an explanation. Like, we are closing Main Street for a week because we are repairing a water main. So you'll get a letter and it will be an explanation. Or you might not have electricity for 3 days, and then they will send a message. They will send an explanation. Sorry, we were unable to provide electricity because the wind blew all of the power lines down on your street. So they might send you an explanation so you know why that happened. Hey, let's look at some comments. I think this is a good place to pause for comments. Let's see. Need to buy a jacket. Where is Brent right now? Bib, next year, don't forget to send us your birthday invitation. Yes. Just trying to read here. Brent, are you traveling right now? Brent needs to buy a jacket. I doubt he's in Maine, if that's the case. Mr. Fisher says, Jen, go to the store and get a loaf of bread. And if they have eggs, get a dozen. Then Bob coming home with 12 loaves of bread. Yes. If you don't send reminders, sometimes you end up buying things twice. Okay, I'm going to turn on members only chat. Give me a moment here to do that. We are in the members only chat portion of the live lesson. You guys can ask me, if you're members, questions about anything you want. And if you're wondering, why would you be a member? Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, you get a little lesson plan on Mondays called Week at a Glance. You get an extra video on Wednesdays called Wednesdays with Bob, where I think this past week I walked by a brand new high school and I showed people the exterior of the high school. You get your name in green during a live stream. You get a crown beside your name during live streams, and you get to participate in members only chat. And what does Bob do with membership monies? It helps pay for my very expensive internet connection out here on the farm to do live streams. It helps me to purchase the equipment I need to be able to run this YouTube channel. So cameras, etc., etc. So I'm very, very thankful for the members that help make it just a little bit easier for me to run this channel. It also allows me to a small degree to work part-time instead of full-time and spend more time. Cy Sandy, today's slides are very helpful for me. They look like the sample in the test of the TOEIC. I don't know how to say that one. TOEIC. I know how to say TOEFL, but I don't know how to say that one. But yes, I'm happy that I have provided slides that are helpful for you. Let me see. Let's get a question from the forum, and I'll keep answering questions from the chat. If you're a member and having trouble thinking of something to ask about never mind. You guys, you'll think of stuff. Judith says, hi, Bob. What can you do if you reprimand someone? Oh, if you reprimand someone, but he never behaves the way it would be desirable according to your opinion, thanks. If it's your child, you could give them a timeout. Or what we used to do is our kids loved playing video games. And if they didn't listen and obey our reprimand, we would then tell them they weren't allowed to play video games that Saturday afternoon or whenever it was. So that's what, if it's adults though, you can just politely ask them again, I guess. Cy Sandy says, in Jen's video, I found the chicken become less furry in the summer. I just feel surprised because I asked you the question about how the chicken adjusts to winter. Oh yeah, I don't know much about chickens. I know in the winter they do fluff their feathers up more, but do chickens have a smaller layer of feathers underneath? I don't know. I'll have to research that one. Very, very, that would be interesting. Okay, I haven't been doing this for a while, but I'm going to, first of all, just a sec here. I'm going to thank Ralph for sending a gift membership to DCT. So if you are DCT, Ralph has kindly sent you a gift membership. Sorry, Brent, I didn't know you were in Peru. I knew you were planning to do that, and I actually haven't been online much this week, so I must have missed some of that information. So hope your trip's going well. That's a cool place to visit. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to myself purchase a gift membership for someone. Wait, I just tried to buy my own a membership for myself. That's not going to work. Let's do 10 today. What do you say? Let's do 10 gift memberships. Here we go. If you are here and you are not a member, in a moment, or maybe this already happened, I don't know what the delay is, but if you are one of those 10 people plus the additional 11th person from Ralph's gift membership, you can now access everything on the posts section of this YouTube channel. So you can see the week at a glance. You can see the Wednesdays with Bob videos. You have 30 days to enjoy that content. Okay. Mr. Fishery, a type of message that can be upsetting is when you are not receiving any messages at all, haha, aka being ghosted. So when you send someone a message and they don't respond at all for days, we say that you've been ghosted. They have not replied. That is no fun. Like when you're like, hey, what time do you want to meet tonight? And then they just ghost you and you're like, and then you send a follow-up, hey, did you get my message? Let's see here. Don't want to miss any of the questions. Hi, Sandy, Mr. Fishery, John Wedge. Hi, Bob. No questions today. Just having fun. Just so you know, I started watching Undercover Boss, and it's been pretty hard to understand real everyday English. That's another good show because it's also unscripted. So thanks for mentioning that one. Undercover Boss is where the owner of the company dresses in a way and puts on makeup and prosthetics so they look different. And then they work at their own company. So, but yeah, it would be unscripted English. Freddie says, Brent, what is the current temperature in Peru and what makes you need to buy a jacket? I know it's winter there. Oh, I'd be interested too. John Wedge, hey folks, as always, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Always helpful. Wanda, hi teacher Bob, which was the most happy announcement you've received in your life? Thanks. Have a nice weekend. I think when my, I don't want to give away too much family information, but I think when I became an uncle when I became an uncle, that was a cool announcement to receive, to get the message that I had a nephew. From Cy Sandy, are merit and reprimand applied in companies in Canada for the reference of evaluation of annual performance? So merit is your worth as an employee. So when they say, what is that person? His merit is higher than that person. It means you're worth more to the company. So merit is definitely an official term for that. You can also get merit points, which mean if you do good things, your company might have a merit system where you are awarded points. And reprimand is very common in business. Like I have a family member who runs a fairly large department, and they do need to reprimand people regularly for skipping work or those kinds of things. Ralph, is ghosted command standard English? Our kids use it all the time, and I thought it might be a bit informal, casual. It is a newer word in the last 5 years, and it is pretty normal now. Like at work, someone will say, hey, I emailed the person organizing the basketball game, and they just ghosted me. Like I haven't heard from them. So yes. John Wedge, it's done. Mr. Fishery, is that a funny show, Undercover Boss, or a serious and dramatic one? It's both. That's what I would say. Common, that was autocomplete. Sorry for that. No problem. Running Tiger, Bob, one of your floor stand lamp bulbs is out. Yes, it's simply not on. So that is the reading lamp. The top bulb has 3 settings. And this bulb here has 1 setting, and you can turn it when you're just sitting there to read. Cy Sandy, thanks for your reminder to John Wedge. So yes, John Wedge actually sent a reminder. I should have picked up on that. Nice job, Cy Sandy. Key Park, hi Bob, great topic today, but I'm confusing. Are there any difference between respond and reply? Thank you for replying to me. So I can now respond to that question. I can now reply. So they're kind of the same. Respond seems a little more formal. Like I'm hoping he will respond today. I wouldn't say that to Jen. I hope he will reply today. But if I was at work and I said, I sent an email to a parent, I'm waiting for them to respond. Like it seems a little more formal to me, but that's just my feeling on the subject. Okay, let's do a few questions from the forum, and then I will double check to make sure I didn't miss any members' questions. Unsol, in a diverse country like Canada, does cultural variety bring people closer in communication, or does it make everyday interactions more formal and reserved? Thanks, bye. It can actually cause some confusion and some misunderstanding. So I think it's important when you're doing anything official that you try to speak clearly and slowly, regardless of your culture or background or country of origin, because culturally we do things differently. So I think it's important to get a good understanding, especially when you're sending written messages, how to do that properly. I think messages are very important. But yes, with a variety of people, I think it does make everyday interaction a little more reserved, I think. Hard to say. Freddie Wolf says, in France, we have Uncle Ben's rice. Now we know that we also have Uncle Bob. Yeah, there you go. Brett says, weather here in Cusco is 6 degrees Celsius. I just have a sweatshirt because I travel light. That's crazy. I love that temperature, but that would be cold right now. Mr. Fischeri says, I sometimes now see in YouTube shorts where the uploader can respond to comments with voice clips. That's a cool update, I think. Yeah, that is pretty neat. I should look into shorts a little bit more. I revisit it every few months and I make a couple and then I quit. But anyways, John Wedge, Mr. Fischeri, the boss works undercover as an employee to see what's going on in the company. Yeah, it's a pretty fun type of thing. Last question, and then we'll get back to it. Sylvan, we use RSVP in French. Is it also used in English? Yes. So many people who speak English, so I shouldn't say many. RSVP stands for Répondez s'il vous plaît. And it simply means please give a response. We use the word in English that way. We say RSVP. Please RSVP. Please RSVP. I'm not sure everyone actually knows the meaning of the word, or the word though, that it's actually a French word. Okay, I'm going to turn off members only chat, and I am going to once again say thank you to all of my members, and then put in a plug as well. If you have ever considered supporting the work I do here on YouTube, please consider being a member for a month or two. Some people have been members for years. However long you are a member, I very much appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to everyone who is a member or has been a member, and encourage some of you, if you would like to thank me or support me, that's a great way to do it. There's nothing quite like seeing that a few more people have joined to make me excited to do the work I do next week. It's good feedback, I think. Okay, let's finish off the formal part of the lesson. A warning, a message that tells someone about a possible danger, problem, or consequence. So I think this is possibly not legal everywhere in the world, but here when I'm driving and I use my phone as my GPS, it will tell me if there is a police car ahead. So it'll quite often just say, hey, police ahead, 10 reports 2 minutes ago. And then it gives me the option of saying whether the police officer is still there or not. So this is kind of handy. I don't speed a lot. So my phone will give me a warning. It will say, it will give me a message that tells someone about a possible danger, problem, or consequence. So there you go. I'm not sure if that is legal in your country or not, but here in Canada, it's nice to have that warning. An offer and a counter offer. So an offer is a message saying that you are willing to give, provide, or do something. So in this scenario, we see that the employer is giving an offer to someone who might work at their company. We would like to offer you the job for $25 an hour. That is an offer. We also use this word when you're buying a house. You make an offer. If the house is $500,000, you might say, I'll give you $480,000. That is a formal legal offer. So an offer, a message saying that you are willing to give, provide, or do something. So in this case, the employer, the offer is that they are willing to give the person a job for $25 an hour. And then we have a counter offer, a message that responds to an offer by suggesting different terms or conditions. So in this case, the person looking for the job says, how about $30? So they've made a counter offer. In my example about the house, if the house is $500,000 and you offer $480,000, they might come back with a counter offer saying, how about $490,000? So again, an offer, a message saying that you are willing to give, provide, or do something. A counter offer, a message that responds to an offer by suggesting different terms or conditions. A cancellation. This might be another very negative type of message, but it is a message telling someone that a planned event or appointment will not happen. Delta Airlines, we are very sorry for the inconvenience due to crew constraints. Your flight DL 1430 has been canceled. Please check your email for information about rebooking to see if your specific itinerary is eligible to cancel for a refund. So you would not want to get this message. A cancellation is never a nice message to get. By the way, I do want to mention, I said DL 1430. In English, you could say DL 1430. You could say DL 1430. But I bet you the most common thing you would hear is someone to say DL 1430. I don't know why we do that with numbers. I apologize, but we do quite often do that. We just say parts of the number in a different way. But anyways, a cancellation, a horrible type of message telling someone that a planned event or appointment will not happen. An alert. I'm sure some of you have gotten these before. An alert is a message that quickly tells people about an important or urgent situation. The most common type of alert I can think of is a weather alert. I don't have my phone here, but often we will get an alert on our phone saying severe thunderstorm coming or tornado warning. We had that the other day. Even though we don't get tornadoes here, there was a warning that north of us there might have been. So an alert, a message that quickly tells people about an important or urgent situation. In Ontario, Canada, we also have what's called an Amber Alert. And that's what you get on your phone if a child goes missing. So if a child is missing, lost, abducted, or if something horrible like that has happened, we all get an alert on our phone saying what to look out for. So an alert, a message that quickly tells people about an important or urgent situation. A proposal, a message that presents a plan or idea for someone to consider. So here we have, by the way, if you're wondering who Bib is, it came up, someone misspelled my name in a comment once and it kind of stuck. So I sometimes use Bib as like, I guess my alter ego, but a proposal, a message that presents a plan or idea for someone to consider. So this is from Bib to Bob. Hi, Bob. I'm a big fan of your content and think our audiences would really enjoy us doing a collaboration video together someday. Let me know what you think, and maybe we can brainstorm some fun ideas when the time is right. Cheers, Bib, the Canadian. So if you want to know more about Bib, Bib is what I would call a running joke now on my live streams. I use the name Bib. Bib is not a real name. There's no one in the world named Bib, I don't think. But I used it as a joke, and now I like to resurrect it every once in a while. So, a proposal, a message that presents a plan or idea for someone to consider. So in this case, Bib is saying, hey, let's work together. Let's do a collaboration. A clarification, a message that makes something clearer or corrects a misunderstanding. So here we have a message from the town of Allentown. The clarification message is, this is a clarification to let everyone know that fireworks will be after dark and not before dark. I'm not sure if this is a fake. This is probably fake, but basically, I guess a lot of people thought the fireworks were going to start before dark, so the town felt the need. This has to be fake. I don't know. It was just in my. I have a subscription to a photo service for photos for these lessons. So, anyways, clarification: a message that makes something clearer or corrects a misunderstanding. So often when you get a clarification, it'll say something like, just want to clarify, the wedding starts at 6, not 6:30. So you will have a better idea of what is happening. This is a pretty common one, a notification, a message that informs you that something has happened or needs your attention. The most common type of notification would be having a little red bubble with a number on your phone, on one of the icons, or maybe on your computer. When you're on the YouTube channel, you'll see that you have a notification. Maybe you have a message, maybe you have an email, maybe there's something you need to look at. But a notification, once again, a message that informs you that something has happened or needs your attention. An update, a message that gives the newest information about a situation or topic. Update, we can all stop searching. Barney the cat has been found. Thank you to everyone in Allentown for your help and support. So apparently, in this scenario, someone lost their cat and everyone's been looking for the cat. And then maybe you're looking for the cat and your phone, you get a notification that you have a message and you read it and it's an update. We can all stop searching. Barney the cat has been found. Thank you to everyone in Allentown for your help and support. So this is, you would get a notification, you would read the update, and then there's also a thank you at the end. I'm trying to point with more fingers. Thank you to everyone. So this one fills a lot of different gaps. A notice, gaps? What am I saying? This one teaches you 3 different types of messages in one photo. A notice, a message that formally informs people about something they need to know. So you'll often see a notice like this, announcement of scheduled road work. You know, this road is going to be closed, those kinds of things. It's kind of a formal message, often from the government, letting you know. You might see a notice on a door. So you might see a notice at the doctor's office saying, just a reminder, we're going to be closed on the holiday next Monday. So that would be a notice that someone has posted. But a notice, a message that formally informs people about something they need to know. A compliment, a positive message that expresses admiration for someone or something. So this is real. This is from Rosario. Hi, Bob. I am happy you notice our skills are improving. I want to highlight your lessons are rather short, efficient, and relaxing. That is why most of us improved a lot over the time. In my response, I'm happy to hear that you appreciate the length and the tone. I try to teach, but also show I think that helps. This was a message that I got from an English learner on my second channel, Bob's Short English Lessons, where I usually respond. I make one video a week and I do respond to one comment as I show you different parts of different cities and the farm and those kinds of things. Hey, that's the formal end of the formal part of the lesson. I always say formal, but it's not a super formal lesson. Brent says, I got a ton of notifications from Delta when I flew down to Peru. The Delta flight after mine was canceled. There you go. My sister-in-law came back from a trip and it took what was supposed to be a half a day of flying with one connecting flight, ended up being 2.5 days with 3 connecting flights. It was because of the smoke, though. That was the reason. Okay, let me get the last 7 questions answered, and then we will be done. From Judith, hi, Bob. In addition of your tone of voice, there any of the natural rhythm of English? Can it alter the meaning of a message? Thanks. A bit. Tone and rhythm, like the example I was going to get is Neo in the Matrix. They teach him kung fu. They download kung fu, and then when he wakes up, he's like, I know kung fu. Like, he's surprised. But if I said, I know Joe, so you can see it's the same type of sentence, but the first one is like, I know kung fu, like a surprise statement. The second one, I know Joe, is basically like almost saying like, of course I know Joe. Like, it changes the meaning. So tone and rhythm can definitely affect English sentences. From Cecilia, what's one situation when you usually need to send a reminder? Thanks, Bob. Generally, I will send Jen a reminder. If I'm at work, I will send Jen a reminder if she's doing something that day that's not part of her normal schedule, and she will also do the same for me. It's not that we like telling each other what to do. It's not that type of messaging. It's very much appreciated. Like, let's say my daughter has, um, let's say she's on the basketball team and she has practice after school. Jen might text me towards the end of the school day and say, just a reminder, don't come home. You have to stay until our daughter's done basketball practice or her basketball game. So Jen and I often send each other reminders like that. Unabi, hi, Mr. Bob. Is there any difference between the words cheers, regards, and congratulations in terms of texting? And when do we use which of them? Thank you. So people often use cheers. They'll say like, hope to see you at market later today. Cheers. It's just kind of like a friendly greeting at the end. I think it's fairly British. I don't use it very often. Regards is very formal. Like, I just wanted to inform you that your car is ready for pickup. Regards, Joe at the garage, right? It's like a formal way to end a letter. And congratulations is different again. It's just like you're saying congratulations because something good has happened to that person. Where are we here? From Maria, do you prefer to apologize or apologize? British or American? Thanks. So that's how I say it. Apologize. I spell it with a Z. I spell practice always with a C. I never spell it with an S, even though I'm supposed to when it's a verb, I think. So I read that word and I just see apologize. I would like to apologize for only being able to read that one way. From Gaeta Helena, hello, Bob. My grocery sometimes types me on WhatsApp if they don't have anything from the order asking about replacement. How would you call such a message? I would say it's an update. Hey, we just wanted to update you that we don't have any cheese. Would you like to have a replacement? You might just call it a message. Like, again, with all of these, the general term is to just say message. But I would say, oh, I got an update from the grocery store. Would I say update? I would probably say message. The more I think about it, I just got a message from the grocery store. They don't have cheese. It's annoying. Okay. Should I do an English lesson about tone sometimes? Because if I said, hey, I got a message from the grocery store. They don't have any cheese. Or if I said, I got a message from the grocery store. They don't have any cheese. Like, one has, I'm not very good at acting, but both have really different meanings. From Unabi, just curious fact, the word spam regarding to trash messages originally came from an old and quite popular Monty Python's comedy sketch. Do you know about this? Spam, spam, spam. Yes, I think I'll have to rewatch that later today. From Arthur, do you keep the home screen on your phone clean of unread messages and notifications? Does it feel uncomfortable to you to leave them there for a long time? Thanks. Yes, I read and delete emails very quickly. I check I don't check my phone very often, and I don't have my Fitbit sent to send me phone notifications because otherwise I check it right away. So my phone's in my pocket. It does not buzz. It does not ring. I have all notifications off, but when I take my phone out, I immediately respond to all messages and all texts and emails. So I deal with things pretty quickly. So, excuse me, Teacher Bob, what's the difference between notification and notice? So a notice is a very formal sounding word, like, oh, there was a notice up at the library. It said someone lost their cat. But notification is more common. Like, you get a notification on your phone. I got a notification in the mail that my taxes are due. Yeah, so they are different, definitely. That's the end. Mr. Fischeri, yep, same here, Bob. I turn off the notification. Yeah, I did that a long time ago. Just makes me have a nicer life. I deal with messages on my phone when I have the time in my day to do it, which is usually, I don't know, once an hour. On my computer, it's on all the time, but okay. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap this up. A few things before you go. I think it's important that in a couple days you watch or listen to the shorter version of this lesson. I am going to remove all of the viewer questions and make a shorter lesson. It usually ends up being between 22 and 28 minutes, somewhere in there. Listen to it while you cook supper. Listen to it while you do the dishes. Listen to it while you exercise. Listen to it on the bus. Listen to it while you drive your car. Listen to it on the train or the subway. It's always good to have repetition when you're learning a language. So do that. It will also have automatic subtitles, which are usually 95 or 99% accurate. So if there were portions of this lesson you didn't understand, you can watch that portion again. But I appreciate it as well because I get an extra view, but it's good for you because you get some repetition in your English learning. And then that's it. This lesson is over. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. I will see you next Friday with another English lesson. I'm not sure what the topic is yet. I'll see you Tuesday with a new video. I hope you enjoy that as well. And now I'm just going to say bye to people in the chat as they say bye to me. That's the easiest way for me not to say names twice. Bye to Uliana, Key Park, Sai Sandy, Wanda, Prado. I got to say names twice anyways. Michael, John Wedge says, thank you so much for this lesson. Bob headed to Jen's channel. I promised her that I finish the videos very fast. Nice. Bye to Gaeta Helena and Julia. Bye to Brent from American English with Brent. I hope your trip's going well. I hope you don't get any cancellation or other bad notifications on your phone. Bye to Mr. Fishieri. Listen to it while you're having dinner with the fam. There you go. Very exciting when you make your kids listen to Bob the Canadian while you eat. John Wedge says, oops, mistypo, no problem. Bye to Key Park, Cecilia, Tiago, and all of you who are here. Everyone, bye to SG, Nadeau, John Wedge. I'm probably saying names twice. So I'll just click the end the lesson button and you guys can go about your day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself, study some English, but also relax a little bit. And see you next week. Bye.